Good Wednesday evening, Hampton Roads, Northeast North Carolina. I see some green lights on, some red lights. That's all good, I think. Maybe you hear me this time around. I'm so glad I'm here. And you know what? We're going to be covering so much about the weather today here in Hampton Roads. We got things to cover, so let me get right to it because I know that's why you're here. Plus, we're going to talk about something special, which is like the NOAA hurricane hunters. What do you know about them? I had a personal experience where I got to board the plane while it was still on the ground. That's where I like to be, on the ground. And then we'll talk about maybe some airplane turbulence that you're acquainted with just from commercial flights. We could talk about that, but I'm so glad that you're here. I got my Pocosin and my Smithfield photos from my spotlight behind me here, so that's what we're going to do. So let's get right to it. Let's get to the weather. We can do that. You know, we've had a lot of rain today. How many of you had to deal with that this morning? If you did, let me know. I'd love to know in the comments section. Leave me a comment. I'm on the WTKR page. I have the ability, as I put here now, I put out there, are you ready? Are you ready? Let me interact with you. If you're on the TKR News 3 Facebook page, I just want to say, hey there, hello, how are you? Let me know if you're on the call. I'd love to be able to interact with you. So that's one of the nice things we could do in this platform. But can you believe it? Smithfield had 1.63 inches of rain today. They had over 1.5 inches in Hampton, 1.22 in Virginia Beach, but lesser amounts occurred today in North Carolina. Look at Manteo, just barely 300ths of an inch. That's not much at all. Not much at all, given the fact that that's really about a 1/4 inch in Jackson. We've had about 1.88 inches of rain in Newport News today. That was mainly in the morning. Had about 1 inch in Suffolk, Emporia over 1 inch, and Norfolk had about 1.31. So all told, I got some notes here because I'm a note taker. Let me come back on camera here. One of the things that's interesting about these numbers over here is that we picked up 1.31 in Norfolk. We had 2.84 for the month prior, so we're up to 4.15. 4.15. And when you think about this in context of the entire month, that's more than a month's worth, and it's only, what, the 21st? Only the 21st of May. So that's one of the things we got to watch very closely. Are we going to have some I'm saying big puddles, maybe. Could that possibly be an issue? We'll have to wait and see. Let me see if we got things going on here. Again, I'm looking at some notes. Oh, I got my first note. Betsy, got a big high five for you. Here's Betsy. Betsy says, hey, but she gets that, what I get all that little object thing. I don't know why that happens, but when they do, we look past it. We love Betsy being on here. Thank you, Betsy. And she's got her dog there. Look at that. That's a cute dog. I like that. Keep them coming. So we can put you on the screen. If you're watching me right now on the TKR page, I'm trying to grow that platform as well. We have some rain over here. Let me come back on this side of it. Come get my bearings. Okay, so over here, we had the heavy rain that left this morning. Now back here, back toward D.C., there's some rain developing, some showers, and some of that's going to filter in here associated with the effects of the cold front. So if you're not ready for more rain, which I don't want any more rain, but it's probably going to be what we deal with, especially during the hours of 9 and 1 a.m. tonight. 9 p.m., 1 a.m., probably going to see a little bit more in the way of some rain showers. So that's the picture, satellite radar. We can see that it's the area south of Wanchese, south of Rodanthe and Hatteras that could get an isolated spin-up tornado because they're still under the marginal risk. That's level 1. The Storm Prediction Center modified and adjusted, just like, you know, like when your videos, it's buffering, it's buffering, it's adjusting. That's what the Storm Prediction Center did. They took the risk and brought it way down toward basically south of Rodanthe into Wanchese, as we'll see here in a moment. But clearly, all the rain and thunder tonight seems to be moving out of the Morgantown, West Virginia area and sliding into the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. So I got some other notes. I love this. Brett, hi. Welcome to our platform because now you're part of it too. He says, good evening. Glad to have you here, Brett. And if you have a question, have a comment, and want to make it conversational, that's what we're here for because that's really what I like to do. Just make it conversational and lighthearted. That's all the rain. Now, maybe you have family in Buffalo. Maybe you have family in Philly, New York. They're going to get wet tonight too. But a couple of those showers north of Roanoke are headed this way, and it'll be passing. And once it probably hit the 1 o'clock in the morning time frame, a lot of this will be gone. The reason that Rodanthe South will have the potential for severe weather is because they're more humid. And we'll see that when I look at the dew points here in a second. But they're under the warm front, and the cold front, series of them, driving through the Raleigh area. They could see something develop later tonight. And then there's a secondary front. Look at that. Looky, looky. I see cool air. Oh, you have no idea. Cool, like really like super cool. No, like unusually cool, like autumn. Autumn cool, fall. Like it's going to feel like you're going to a football game in the SEC. Maybe something like that. It's possible. It's possible. I spent some time, obviously, in Knoxville. But if you have to take a look at this front, you're going to be amazed at some of the cool air behind it. I did mention we've picked up now 4.15 for the month. And the whole month typically we see is 3.78. So we're now about a third of an inch above where we might typically expect to be. So it is now 7:47. My goal is to be done on time, or at least close to it. I have to mention, if you haven't heard, we have a sponsor known as Marcos. And Marcos is doing a great thing, not only sponsoring this great platform, but they have a giveaway. They've got 5 convenient locations on your screen. I can tell you with high assurance that there are more locations, but for the contest purposes, that's what I'm focused on. For the contest purposes, if you want to win free pizza for a year, ooh, wouldn't that be cool? You mean I could get like a large one topping in January, one in February, one in March? Absolutely. We're going to give away 10 of these next week. And starting Memorial Day, as you see on my little ticker at the bottom, starting on Memorial Day, that's Monday the 26th, to win free Marcos pizza for a year, all you have to do is go to WTKR.com/Marcos. How cool is that? And since it's almost June, we'll just punch the card starting in June, right? And then July, August, September. So you have a year's worth of free pizza sponsored by Marcos, but I do know there are Marcos locations in Suffolk. There are 2 others in Virginia Beach. There's 2 in Hampton, 2 in Newport News, Yorktown. Even Fort Eustis has some cool locations, and they're opening up a state-of-the-art one there in Hampton University later this month. So there you have it. It's an exciting thing to be a part of a pizza party, because that's what this is. Let's face it. This is like being able to have a weather conversation, and we got pizza. Free pizza for many of those who are participating. If you got a comment, I mentioned Betsy's on here, Brett's on here. Let me know. I'm going to put your name on the screen. But let's get through tonight. The level 1 risk that is still in effect only affects those down toward the Outer Banks, really south toward Rodanthe and Hatteras, because there's a little bit of green covering those areas. But Kingston, maybe Bayboro, New Bern area could have maybe some damaging wind, some flooding potential, but the spin-up tornado is still a slight or a very small possibility. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. I know a lot of folks are just tell me what the Memorial Day weekend's going to be. So here it is in a nutshell. Very easy to remember. You ready for this? It's mid-70s. That's it? That's it. I mean, we hit 90 first day of May. We hit 91 last Friday, the 16th of May. But we're not hitting 90 on the unofficial start of summer. Seems kind of backward. Seems kind of odd. But these series of fronts are only going to reinforce the cool air. It's just kind of the way things are. But we are going to be anticipating winds about 5-10, 5-15 as we see it now. Again, if you're on the call, let me know. I want to see if I can get your voice on the screen. You could just put a comment, put a question in there. This is to be interactive. I don't want it to be only me talking here. Hey, here's our beautiful Virginia Beach oceanfront. Probably not the best looking day for it because of the clouds and the rain. And the ocean looks a little agitated, right? We have a coastal flood advisory until 11 o'clock tonight. And I know with all the rain we had this morning and the winds, we had a peak gust of 36 miles per hour in Norfolk, it kind of maybe stirred up the white water there. So you've seen a little more in the way of crashing waves on the ocean front, just something to think about. But our highs today, I mean, are you recalled for 76? I know, we hit 80 in Elizabeth City. I mean, I can't win. 64 in Norfolk, but that's because we had the rain. So the places that got the most rain stayed in the 60s. Those that didn't get much rain or had less rain, Edenton hit 82, and it was 67 in Ahoskie. I got amazing stuff. Edith Bird, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I just wanted to put you on the screen. Edith, if you have a question about NOAA hurricane hunters, put that on this comment section, and I'll do my best to magnify your voice just like this. Got your beautiful face here. I got Edith. I feel like we now have a party, right? We have a conversation. Edith is watching, and we can all be excited about all of this because this is just kind of fun. I like to do fun stuff, and this is just another way to participate with you. I do know it's 7:51, so I got to keep moving. Let's get back to the maps. If those were the highs, look where we are now. We went from 80, Elizabeth City, we're back to 66. These are current temperatures right now. 69 in Edenton. I thought the normal high would be like, what is the normal high? Got some notes here. Got the normal high right here. Oh, normal high this time of year is 78. Normal low is 61. We were nowhere near, Elizabeth City was near, they hit 80, but we were nowhere near 78 today in Hampton Roads. Not by any stretch because of that rain. The record high today is a twofer, 1996, 94. That was back when Bill Clinton was in office, right? And then, of course, one of the other things, let me go back on this thing. And then the other record high is from 1877. It was also 94. That was when Rutherford B. Hayes was in the White House. 45 degrees, the record low from 1956. And that was when Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. So there you have it. Just some of the things I thought we would kind of put this into context. I love the fact that Norfolk, because it's part of the the original 13 colonies with Virginia. I grew up in Delaware. These locations have a long-standing weather record. So when you have a record high or record low that's achieved or broken, it's kind of an unusual thing, but it's a special thing all the same too. No doubt about that. All right, let me get back to the maps. I'm kind of moving my cursor around and toying around, but there it is. Temperatures right now 63. Portsmouth, 64 in Hampton, and absolutely gorgeous Cape Charles. Maybe on another day, maybe gorgeous. The clouds kind of hovering, but they're at 60. I got a chance to visit that city or town last Saturday. It is 7:53 right now, and we're noticing the temperatures right now in Washington, D.C., with the rain approaching, they're at 56. 56 degrees at 7 o'clock at night is kind of cool, don't you think? I mean, for late May, that's what it is. But compare that and contrast that to Charlotte, 83, it's like balmy. And it probably does feel like summer in Columbia, South Carolina, because they've got 85. 85, and it's 89 in Myrtle Beach. The dew points, again, the gold standard for describing humidity. You can use this as a good tool. Am I going to have a good hair day or a bad hair day? If it's in the 40s, it's a great hair day. But if it's in the 60s, look at Hatteras, 70. Hatteras feels like the swamp because they've got the higher dew points, and hence they're still under the crosshairs for a potential severe storm tonight, maybe possibly a spin-up. We had one in Wanchese. Remember last week? They had an EF0 tornado hit Wanchese last week, so we have to be diligent and mindful of what's going on there. Temperatures around the country, very cool in Rapid City. If you have family in Minneapolis, they're at 50. Detroit, 52. Music City, Nashville, 78, but it's smoking hot in San Antonio. And Phoenix is 99, but it's a dry heat. Okay, I'll grant you that. I got a brother in Vegas. He's 97. He wouldn't bat an eye last year. 97, that to me is hot, but not to him. 87 currently in Myrtle Beach. Could that be right? Could that possibly be right? Could there be something wrong? No, that is correct. Oh, I got another note. Let's see here. I got a note from Michael. It might be a little more involved, but let's get into it. He says, "Hi, David. This may be off the subject, but how do you and your fellow meteorologists, how are you handling cuts to the National Weather Service and National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration?" That's a great question, Michael. As best we can, right? Because I'm sure it's not just the government that's going through cuts. It's private companies too. And if you love what you do your best with what you have to work with. How's that for a diplomatic answer? Because I think it's something that we notice. It's certainly top of mind. A lot of folks are thinking about that as we move forward. But I got to keep moving. It's 7:55. Temperature trend, if you're curious, is in the mid-70s. Not tomorrow. We'll be around 80. But tomorrow will be the last quote-unquote warm day until next week. We got 75 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday, and 75 on Monday. Oh my. Let's see here. I got a note here from Keith Fentress. Hello, Keith. Good to see you, my friend. This is a national scene because we know we have such a large military presence here. We are the largest naval base in the world. So you got naval members, you got family all over the place. I've got family all over the place. I just said I got a brother in Vegas, right? So if you're in Colorado just checking in, glad to have you here. You might have interest here. Maybe you have family here, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, what have you. So we recognize that and wanted to give you a platform that might be more agreeable to you. Did I mention we're giving away free pizza? Free pizza for a year, but I'd have to be there. Yeah, you'd have to come here to redeem it. But if you get on to WTKR.com/Marcos, it's not an active contest page yet. It will be on Monday. But Monday is the time to sign up. Just your name, email. Let us know how we can reach you because we want to give you away free pizza. We're going to give away 10 of these certificates next week, and I will even read them on the platform. How would that be? And we're going to do it random, through a randomized type of situation, so I have no control who gets it, but I would love for you to win it because that's what's kind of neat. And you'll be able to go to these 5 stores, 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in Norfolk, and 1 in Chesapeake to redeem that certificate later on when the contest is in full swing. But I digress. All the rain that you see on the big screen is up to the top, and you can see what Virginia Beach may get a few showers coming in from the north and to the west. Okay, this is a good pausing point. Let me come back on camera. Now, for those of you, because we're 11 days away from hurricane season, people, people say, what do you know about it? I was doing a live stream in Knoxville when Hurricane Helene hit. But got news for you. As I mentioned last night, Helene was not a hurricane when it came to western North Carolina. It was barely a tropical storm. He said, but it did a lot of damage. That's right, because it caused the air to lift. If you've ever been over through the Smoky Mountains, the topography, it's like driving a car, you hit a speed bump, you go, whoop, and you go back down. So all that moisture just squeezed out. Heavy rain in Tennessee. We lost a bridge along I-40, but the worst of the damage clearly was in western North Carolina. So I digress. So when these storms are in the Gulf, like Milton was 180-mile-an-hour winds, one of the things that you'll be amazed is that we want to give tribute or pay respects to the NOAA hurricane hunters. This is a screenshot from their Facebook page. And one of the things you'll notice is that they have a very large following, over 400,000 followers and counting. But all of these men and women do put their lives on the line when they fly into these storms. Now, I don't know about you, but I get queasy from just like a commercial flight and the turbulence that's associated with it. When they say, buckle your seatbelt, we're going to go through a patch of turbulence. That's nothing compared to what these men and women do every day when there's a storm going on and they have to go in and investigate. So what I found was interesting back in, and I'm showing my age, back in 2007, a long time ago, back in 2007 in Cape May, New Jersey, when I was working in Philadelphia, they brought the plane, parked it, because I was not up in the air, they parked it, and I had a chance to walk around and take a look at it, and I put the YouTube link in the comments section from last night, so you'll find it there. But what's amazing is look behind the men and women, and you'll see there's a little decal on that plane. Do you know what that is? Is that a puppet? No. You know what that is? That's a Muppet. Oh yeah, it's a Muppet. No, it's not easy being. Oh well, it actually is easy to be green when you have to go through the turbulence of a hurricane. This is the Skyhopper. That's one of the aircraft. This is the WP-3 Orion aircraft. I believe it's like a Lockheed enhanced aircraft. But they also have a Miss Piggy. And they've always wanted to get together, Miss Piggy and of course Kermit the Frog, Skyhopper. This is a picture from NOAA, but that's one of the cool things I discovered. I said, wait, I even asked at the time one of the NOAA forecasters there, who happened to turn out to be a future hurricane director, national hurricane director, Dr. Richard Knabb, and he's on the Weather Channel. He's the hurricane expert. He said, oh yeah, we got a Kermit the Frog and we got a Miss Piggy. I said, that's crazy. He said, oh, it's even funnier. We also have a Gonzo. I'm like, well, there's Miss Piggy. I said, you have a Gonzo? He said, yeah, Gonzo flies around. He flies around the hurricanes. How's that? How cool is that? Well, I mean, it's amazing, right? I see here a note from Keith following up. He says, I'm from there, be home soon. Well, good. I hope you have a safe trip. Hopefully you're not having to deal with turbulence on your way back, Keith Ventures, so thank you for being here. Okay, so we got Gonzo, we have Miss Piggy, we got Kermit. My question to Dr. Richard Knabb at the time was, well, what do you have? Do you have an animal? He said, no. He said, David, the hurricanes, they are the animal. Oh, I like that. Yeah, okay. So they don't have any. They have a Gonzo, flies around the hurricanes, but they've got Miss Piggy and Kermit. So that's kind of cool. But in all seriousness, this is their way of keeping things lighthearted because they have to go in, and what they do. I want to come back here. They take these little dropsondes, and I took some notes from Peter Siegel from my video. They drop about, this is just my Scripps water bottle, but it looks like this. It's a little bigger. They drop from the plane to the ocean floor. It basically records 2 times per second. Think about this. It measures pressure, temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction. 5 things. Pressure, temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction, 2 times per second. It would do a handful to up to 20 to 30 per mission. They drop down, and that information's fed back to the supercomputers in Miami so that they could get a better track and a better understanding on where a storm's going to go. So what they're doing has great utility, great value, and they put, like I said, a lot of them have fortitude. I don't have the motion sickness. There wouldn't be enough motion sickness medication to keep me. I get sick pretty easily on bumpy rides, bumpy flights. They're used to it. And they did say in the video that at the time, this is 2007, that they cost up to about $700 each. So if they're doing up to 20 to 30, if you do the math, that's about $14,000 to $21,000 worth of drop-ons in a mission. And if you adjust it for inflation, it's probably closer to $30,000. But those things drop, and they are expensive. But what's the price that we get? We get better intel, right? We get better knowledge, information before a storm hits like a Katrina, before a Hugo, before an Andrew, before any of the big storms like a Helene has impact. We get information from the NOAA hurricane hunters. All right, let me get back to the weather that we have because I know we're running out of time here. It's 8:02. Got a lot of news, but want to encourage you to download the free News 3 First Warning Weather app. And if you have the NOAA Weather Radio, then you get 2 information sources. That's ideal. I got a note from Marilyn Bell. She said, what a beautiful day it was in East Tennessee today. She says it was windy with low humidity. Well, I hope, Marilyn, that we can get that information, that type of weather tomorrow, and I anticipate we'll see some of that on Thursday. So there you go. Rain chances tomorrow is only 20%. Friday, 20%, nothing on Saturday, 40% Sunday and Monday. If we look at the Eastern Shore on your Thursday, you'll notice about 69 for Chincoteague, 70 for Saxus, Bloxham 70, and 71 in Onancock. Our friends in Exmoor, around the Exmoor Diner, which I had a good time there, 72, 73 in beautiful Cape Charles, where they have a Cowlick Creamery. I like that too. By the way, Thursday, we're looking at highs at 78 for Duck, as in Duck Donuts, Manio 79, Nag's Head 78, 79 Kill Devil Hills, and Rodanthe around 80 degrees tomorrow, 79 Hatteras and Ocracoke at 80. It's a beautiful picture normally, but when you have clouds and rain, it kind of looks kind of gray in our 4 pictures here, but just wanted to give you some intel there. I got another couple of notes here. Let's see here. Diane is, she said she's watching from Maryville, Tennessee. Thank you, Diane, for being here. Appreciate that. If you are coming to visit Norfolk, Hampton Roads, we'd love to see you. We'd love to have you spend your money here and spend time on your vacation. And to be fair, since I've spent so much time in Knoxville, I know a lot of East Tennesseans like to go to Destin. It's a great place, but we'd rather you come here this time. Then you can see me. You can watch the 11 o'clock news, which I'll be doing tonight. And we'll have news, weather, and sports. But instead of going to Destin, come to Virginia Beach, the Outer Banks, or the Eastern Shore, because I think you'll be impressed, as I have, with all these beautiful things. By the way, the hottest month is typically July. We get about 15 days. So far, we've had 3, but we're trending cooler. How do I know? Because we've now, what's the scoreboard here? 14 above normal and 5 below normal. So we've got a little bit of both there, so something to think about. Betsy is saying, she says, I got a Marco's close to my house. Hey, how about that? Well, cool. Hopefully, if you win, it'll be very easy, Betsy, for you to actually get some good pizza and maybe a Pozzoli. They got that wonderful Magnifico. That's what they're going to be giving away, 1 per month for a year. But the Pozzoli is a great lunch item if you want something. It's very filling, but very handy to get if you haven't tried the Pozzoli. All right, I got to keep going. So we got 64 the high today. Sunrise tomorrow is 5:52, goes to bed at 8:12. It's 8:05. I'm going to wrap things up here in about 3 minutes or less. Storm Prediction Center, you ready for this? We have been talking about severe weather all over the map. There was a confirmed tornado in Roane County, I understand, in Tennessee from yesterday. And now we have quiet? Is the weather finally going to quiet down? Yes, there's going to be less of this. But when we see level 1 or say level 1, it typically means isolated. And when we say level 2, yellow, it's typically scattered. So they're all severe storms. It's just the quantity is isolated, scattered, numerous, widespread, or widespread expected. So these are things, the red and purple are pretty rare to see. Now, tomorrow, if you have family that's coming here or you're going there, I'm looking at Dallas, Texas. Storm Prediction Center has an area that's slight, level 2. Scattered severe storms may fire up in Fort Worth, Dallas, maybe to a lesser extent around San Angelo and just on the west side of Little Rock. There could be a little patch of green there in South Florida tomorrow if you happen to be traveling there, but we look good all across the area. And the reason I highlighted these counties is because in my 25 years of doing television, local television, these are the states that I had served and have served as faithfully as I can do. I was in Rochester for 4 years, Philly for 4 years, 2 years in Huntington, Charleston, Eastern Kentucky with Southeast Ohio. All these counties look quiet tomorrow, which is kind of nice, but the focal point tonight is to highlight that better weather is coming to Hampton Roads. By Friday, there's a chance for some severe weather, isolated as it may be, in Oklahoma City, maybe in West Texas, really not much. It's not showing as bright colors as we had just days ago, and Florida may have some isolated severe weather threat going into Friday. So I'm just showing you this because the holiday is coming up. Travel is increasing, and I want you to be prepared as to what's to come. All right, so we have clearly a futurecast that's bringing in some scattered showers tonight. There's 9 o'clock, that's less than an hour from now. Maybe a few showers or rumbles near Williamsburg, not severe, but it could be raining in Virginia Beach by 11 o'clock. And then you could see scattered showers at midnight, 1 a.m., and it's gone. Yay, but you're left with some fog. Don't be surprised if you see a little bit of fog, maybe even like a marine layer, right? You've got this little gray area, low clouds, some patches of fog, especially where it rained hard today. And it rained hard in a lot of areas in southeast Virginia. So keep that in mind. That's 7 a.m. That's a projection. We can see by midday it's sunny everywhere, right? Maybe a few clouds to the west. And it's really Exmoor that might need to watch, or Williamsburg, for a spot shower. I left a 20% chance. There's 3, and there's 4 o'clock. Maybe a rumble of thunder crossing over the eastern shore by 4 o'clock tomorrow. That's about it. And then the winds are pretty stiff too. I've got gusts around 35 to 40 miles an hour, sustained about 10 to 20. But I do think the winds will be gusting 35 to 40 tomorrow. 7 a.m. Friday looks delicious, looks great, wonderful. You're probably already mentally on your holiday break, maybe ignoring work emails. That happens too. But it's really next Tuesday. This is why the rain this morning has value and utility. It's really Tuesday where we do this again. The modeling trending for about an inch to 2 on Tuesday would bring the rain chances pretty high. I left it at an 80% chance right now for the day after Memorial Day. All right, so tomorrow morning we're in the upper 50s for the peninsulas, 60 in Southside and 60 in North Carolina. That's where I expect to be. Clearly you can see by the time we hit tomorrow morning and the fog is gone, I believe it will be gone at some point here, you can see that we're going to be looking for high temperatures. Let's see here. Yeah, low temperatures, it's just about 58 in Suffolk, 61 for Elizabeth City, and 57 in Franklin, Conway 57, Murfreesboro 57, and a low temperature in the morning in Corolla at 63 degrees, Nags Head about 65. Does that help? I hope it helps, at least gives you some perspective of what we're expecting to see in that time frame. Thursday afternoon, 80, 77 for the peninsulas, and 81 North Carolina. And here is your first warning, 3-day forecast that will morph into the 7-day forecast. So 80 tomorrow, a lot cooler from Friday, only 74. But one of the cooler nights, it's going to be Friday night because we're down to 55, mostly sunny skies, and clearly our temperatures are going to be in the mid-70s Monday and Tuesday. But Tuesday's the soggy day, so I was wanting to be very deliberate to describe it as heavy at times. A few showers on Wednesday, but if we can get through Tuesday, the next approaching storm system will drop probably at least 1 inch, possibly as much as 2, the way things are trending right now. And before I wrap things up, it's now 8:10. I wanted to show you some beauty pictures. If you're watching us from out of town, maybe you're homesick. You know, I wish I could be in Virginia Beach. Well, this was a beautiful sunset from our WTKR photographer, Dana Bandy. And she had that beautiful sunset, I believe was last night. Sunset last night. Now, this one was last night. James River. Katrina Gay captured this. It looks like a kayaker in the foreground there. And last but not least, beautiful picture. South Norfolk, Jordan Bridge. Thank you for that beautiful sunset. From Jennifer Lee. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for the spotters. And again, appreciate your time. If you have any other comments and you're not watching live, leave it in the comments section. I'll go back and reread it and I'll do my best to answer them. Very thankful for you. We'll see you here next time. I went a little longer than I thought, but hopefully if you are just mildly curious about the hurricane hunters, I'm sure you could go to their Facebook page and read more about them. But that's a lot of information to take in. If you are interested in meteorology, that would be probably more the extreme, to be actually flying in to the actual storms. Anyway, well, my name is David Aldrich. We'll see you here next time, but appreciate your time. Take care.